Dee 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 dee. Keto living is the life for me. Coffee, cooking, and recipes. Spending my days with my doggies. So be a sport. Set your alarm for Wednesdays for the Warden's Report. Welcome to the Warden Report. I'm so glad to see y'all again. I'm getting excited reading some of these comments. So if you didn't already, go watch last week's because I want to see your comments, y'all. Let's get this day started. I'm going to show you that coffee I talked about last week, and I'll talk about it a little more. Okay, here's the coffee. That's the brand. This, I just went with that month's special, which was Mexico Dark Roast. And there's their info, a brewing guide. You could pause that. There's that. And here's the coffee. See how dark that is? And that's just the normal one that Heath is doing for me. That's how much coffee I get. So that's 16 ounces, basically. Okay. So very dark roast. And normally, I'm actually not a fan of dark roast, but I was like, well, I'll try it. And it's definitely nice and dark. It's not very, I mean, it's not bitter at all. And then the smell. It smells really good, y'all. It smells really good. So all I have in here is a little bit of that MCT. And it is still, it's a little after 11. So it has definitely been well over 90 minutes. Again, kind of 4 hours. So turn that on. I like to just kind of get it mixed up really well. There's Sammy. Hey, Sam. Say hi, everybody. And there's Delilah. She's like, don't forget about me. I'm here. They're so cute. So on the Kimono coffee, so if you go to Dr. Mindy Pelz's site, she, probably because, you know, she's got a lot more subs than I do, but you can follow her site and you get the first bag for, well, they say for free, the 99-cent shipping. So basically, you get a bag for 99 cents. So you definitely follow that. Or if you're really committed, I have a link below that I signed up for their referral program. And what it does, it gets you $20 off your first order. And then I also get $20. So either one. I mean, yeah, I'd appreciate if you all do that. But, you know, I'm always looking for how do I save. So I definitely get how maybe you do Mindy Pelz's link and, you know, get it for 99 cents to try your first bag. I don't know. It's up to you. Do whatever is best for you. So I just thought I'd put that out there in case y'all ever feel like doing that. But I'm certainly not asking because I like to save money and that's what I try to do. So yeah, I'm just going to get started. As you can see, I'm kind of walking around. Hope this doesn't make y'all dizzy. But I'm just walking around the kitchen, having my break of the day. Well, not of the day, but you know, my first break. And I've got my mug here. Somebody trying to call me. Look how rude. But anyway, so I've got my mug. I have been using this one more just because it does insulate it really well. And it fits perfectly, 16 ounces, so I can just keep that and be drinking it, and it should still be hot over the course of an hour that it usually takes me to drink my cup of coffee. Alright, y'all. Well, if you're new here, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe. I want to see y'all join our channel, join the Hungry Horde. We want to welcome everybody here. Thank you. So, I was listening to another podcast. And this kind of goes back a couple weeks ago when I brought up the fact, and I've talked about this several times, y'all. We need to stop focusing on weight loss, right? And I've gotten different comments. A lot of people are like, yeah, that's right. It should be focused on health, which is what we do on our channel. The whole reason we started keto. If you didn't, go back. We've got our stories. You could hear the whole thing. It's really long. Or I made one that was a real short video on why we decided to go keto. And it's always been about our health. That's our main goal, is health. So I was just listening to this podcast, and they were speaking to JJ Virgin. If anybody's ever heard of her, comment down below. Let me know. So anyways, what she was saying, I love this, the way she phrased it, and maybe I can get it across a little better than perhaps I have in the past. You do not lose weight to get healthy. You get healthy to lose weight. The reason is anybody can lose weight, but that doesn't actually make you healthy. She goes, because a lot of times, depending on the way you go about losing weight, you can actually do damage to your metabolism. So again, like where we've seen people who do these starvation diets, who eat really low intake, or who do other things that basically they're not eating nutritious food because their only goal is not the type of food they're eating or the nutrition that they're eating. It's, I have to lose X amount of weight by X date, right? So they do damage to their metabolism. And we know when we do that, long term, that's going to hurt you so much worse than those few pounds that you just had to lose. And then also, she was stating that you can also do damage where you lose more muscle, which is part of the weight you're seeing is muscle weight. And we know, especially for us ladies that are over 40, how important muscle is for our bodies. So we really need to focus on doing stuff that is healthy. So instead of focusing on that scale all the time, again, take measurements. That's really the best thing to see, especially if you're doing something like a carnivore or keto. Really look at measurements. And if you are somebody who works out consistently, who goes to the gym, or if you're doing, which is optimal, strength training is the best, which she goes on to say, really the best thing you could do for yourself is strength training. So if you were doing strength training, don't focus on the scale. In fact, don't even weigh yourself. The best thing you could do is take measurements, because that's what's going to show you how you're progressing, and looking at your health data. So that's why it's good to get your blood work done, so you kind of know where you're at. And then at least 6 months, preferably up to a year later, of consistently doing this. So again, I know some people aren't gonna like this. So going off plan every week or a couple times a month, that's not consistent. So consistently sticking to this way of eating, whatever way of eating you're choosing that you feel is going to get you healthy. Because again, we're under the proper human diet. And I was even explaining to Heath that, you know, for some people, paleo might be the best option for them, or low carb might be a better option. And then there's keto and there's carnivore. It all depends. We're all different backgrounds, all different genetics, right? We all make our choice. Or you might find something else that you really feel like you thrive with, right? Because again, this to me is not a diet, it is a lifestyle. And those words, diet technically means this is the food you eat. But we know in our society, we have twisted that word to mean basically something that is short-term to get a goal of weight loss, right? So instead I look at it, this is my lifestyle, and my lifestyle means this is what I'm going to eat for the rest of my life. And so that means you have to pick something that you feel like best suits you. So whether that's carnivore or keto or low carb or paleo, whatever you feel like you can consistently do, or anything else under the healthy aspects, that you can consistently do for the rest of your life, then stick with it. Because like some people, if you're finding that carnivore is just too difficult for you, that you still want a salad, or you still want broccoli or Brussels sprouts, then you don't have to be carnivore. Like nobody says you have to be that. Then just be keto. It's okay. Sometimes I feel like people tend to get very dogmatic and they're like, no, look, this is what I'm doing and I'm getting results, so therefore you should do it. That isn't the case. Like we all know we're all very different people and we all go and heal in different ways. So, you know, if you're following someone who's telling you, oh, you need to do this, maybe take a step back, because they're not in your shoes, especially like men telling women that. We know as women, we are totally different. Like our bodies have hormones that affect how we manage fat and how we manage weight that a man could never really grasp and understand that. I mean, they can get the scientific part of it, but really they're not in our shoes. So just kind of consider that when somebody's saying, oh, look, I lost it so quick doing this or that. Well, yeah, for them. But again, that's focusing on weight loss. I want to hear about the health aspects, because anybody can lose weight. That does not equal healthy. Just like somebody being in a normal weight range does not mean they're healthy. So we need to acknowledge that more, because I could tell in my story, I was vegan for over a year. Guess what? I lost like 100 pounds being vegan. I lost a lot of weight really quick. Was I healthy? No. And in fact, it made me even more unhealthy. I never had my ulcerative colitis issues until I was vegan. So yeah, guess what? I lost weight. Woohoo! So if I had a channel then was like, oh look, I've lost weight on vegan, I'm so great. But what was my health goals? How did I end up being healthy? So again, that's why I keep saying, praising people just for their weight loss is not showing the whole picture, and it's putting really that more diet mentality in the keto sphere, carnivore sphere, when that's what's focused on, because we're not seeing the health aspects. And you could tell when someone is getting healthy versus just losing to lose. So and I love the way she phrased that. Again, JJ Virgin, just saying, focus on health and the weight loss will come. Sorry, y'all, I had a sneeze. So let me know your thoughts. I know I drill this home all the time. It's just because, you know, I see videos constantly focusing on weight, and I just want to bring and highlight how important health is, because really that's the bottom line. I mean, you could be skinny and laying on your deathbed versus you could be healthy and thriving and walking late into, you know, your 90s or maybe even 100. You know, let's aim for our health goals and really focus and highlight those. Happy Thursday. How's my hair look? So I washed it last night. How often do you wash your hair? I generally do it once a week. And wow, the next day it's just like so light and fluffy and soft. So anyhow, how are you doing? Just checking in. I finished that one podcast with that JJ Virgin. I talked a little bit about her, I think last week. Anyhow, she also talked about, you know, how exercise, but specifically not cardio. Like she is saying, you need to do strength training because it is so vital, especially for women over 40. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. I am, like that light shining weird. I am not the best at exercising, right? Like, I try, I'll go in waves. Like last year after the cruise, I was really inspired by Frederick Hahn, and I was doing that like I think, every day almost. And I did that for 2 or 3 months, really consistently. Maybe even longer. I don't know. I guess I should have kept track. But anyways, didn't. And then just eventually it just kind of falls out. You know how some people will be like, you just need to make a habit. After doing it for X amount, it's a habit. My body is like, no, we don't make habits to exercise. I'm not alone, am I? Because it's just like, and even like when I first started keto, at the time we had a treadmill, like we got a treadmill. And for the very first year, the whole year, I was walking every single day on that treadmill. And guess what? I stopped it just like that. Like, it was so easy. But I have to say, so what I kind of do, if anybody's interested, I do try to, because of like Nurse Cindy and how I've heard lots of other people reference this, is I do try to do squats every day. So every day when I wake up, I do a few squats and try to do that where I can, you know, stand on my own doing those squats. So, and not, you know, like hanging on to like a table or anything. And that does help. And like JJ was saying on the podcast, she was like, just doing things like squats, she goes, because as you get older, she said the all-cause mortality is, can you get up and down off the floor? And so being able to do squats and stuff shows you get up and down off the floor. Being able to do that, being able to get up and down off of a toilet. And I was like, yeah, that's important. Like, sometimes we need to not live so much in today. You know, like, I feel great. And I was listening to Dr. Westman, on his latest video, and the gentleman was like, oh yeah, I feel, you know, so good with keto. Like, I feel younger, more active. I feel better than I did in my 30s. And I'm like, yeah, like, I feel better than I honestly have my whole life. Because if you're new here, I have literally been overweight since I was like 5 years old. My whole life. Like, just like before 5 years old, my mother said I was like underweight. I was really skinny. And then just something happened at 5, just all of a sudden I started gaining weight. And so I have been on every diet program possible, starting at 5, seen countless doctors over it, right? And they were just like, yeah, just cut her calories, get her active. So my mom had me in the swim team. She enrolled me in different gyms. And it wasn't like she was forcing me. Like, I wanted to do that. And I thought this was another thing they kind of brought up on that podcast with JJ. Is she says, you know, we don't need to shame people who are overweight. Well, she calls them overfat. Because she said even somebody might look slim, but they might be skinny fat, right? You could still be over fat. Is most everyone, or basically I would say everyone I've ever known that has been overweight, they know it, and they probably tried and know everything about it more than somebody who, oh, they just gained 10 pounds because, you know, they're over 40 now, but they've been thin their whole life. You know, like, you think about it. Yeah, you get up and you're like, okay, what can I do to get healthy today? Okay, what, you know, and you think about everything that you're doing. Okay, what is this going to do for me? Right? You think of those things. And that's how I've been, like, my whole life, being overweight, even as a child. Yeah, it's hard, and I feel bad because I know that some people went through a lot of bullying. And I feel like I was very, very fortunate because I really did not. I mean, there was, like, I can remember like 2 instances in my whole childhood through high school where someone basically called me out from my weight, right? But generally, everyone I ever met, everyone was just always so nice. Like, I never had, I'm grateful. I feel like that's a privilege that I was never bullied. Like, that's something to me, because I know a lot of y'all had to go through that. And thankfully I didn't have to. And you know, I don't know why. I guess, again, I was just very privileged that nobody made a big deal, especially back when I was a kid. Like, I was the only overweight kid in the class, right? There was not so many. Sorry about that, y'all. So, yeah, because of that, I wanted to be, because I looked at all my peers and I'm like, nobody else is overweight. Like, I would ask my mother, why am I like this? Nobody in my family was. Like, nobody. The only time the women in my family were overweight was once they were basically hitting menopause, right? Like, after they had their kids and everything, is once they started gaining weight. Like, my mother was always very thin. Like, they used to tell her, how do we put weight on you? Because she was so skinny. Like, she said she remembered in high school weighing 98 pounds. So she was always very thin, and not until, like, after she had me and years later, then she, you know, started gaining weight. But even then, she was never, like, morbidly obese. So, again, here I am, the only one in my family, because all of my cousins, everybody was skinny, right? So everyone I went to school with, and so I would ask why. Like, I didn't understand. And it kind of felt like, did I do something wrong? Was, you know, what am I being punished for, right? And so I always tried everything. So I've tried every single diet, every single exercise, everything, you know, and that's the thing, is also what JJ said, is, you know, people who are over fat, it's not your fault. I mean, basically society, people who are ahead of nutrition, your doctors, they've all lied to us. So it's not our fault, because, you know, we have tried. I went and did those things. I did exactly what they said, because they said, hey, if you eat under 1,200 calories, you will lose weight. And then it just wouldn't happen. And, okay, well, if you exercise, okay, I'm hitting the gym all the time. Just didn't happen. And I would try all these things. And then, you know, finally I actually had a therapist who told me, he's like, look, you need to accept who you are, because if you don't accept who you are and love who you are as a person, not this outside shell, but love and accept yourself, then you're going to grow up and end up, because I was still a teenager, he said, you'll end up being very bitter, angry adult, and you don't want that. And I was like, okay, yeah. And so finally, when I was in college, I finally was like, you know what? This is who I am. You're either going to take me as I am or you're not. Like, I'm not going to change myself. I'm not going to stress myself, because y'all know dieting and all of that is stressful. It's stressing. And that's why earlier I talked about the whole weight loss mentality, because that is putting undue stress. It's putting undue stress on you, on others. And I know some people said they find that inspiring. I mean, that's great. If that really does inspire you to see other people talk about their weight loss journey, more to you. But sometimes I feel like it's stress. It causes stress, and it causes stress when I've heard other channels that focus on that. Then they start getting stressed when they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not losing. What's going to happen? Are people going to stop following me? You know, oh, maybe I should stop talking about my weight because this is too much stress. Having to, I mean, they're not saying stress exactly, but I'm hearing them change what they're saying, instead of saying, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to stop tracking because I'm not losing. Now they're saying, oh, well, you know, there's just more important things going on. Or now all of a sudden they're talking about health. Anyhow. But it's like, yeah, if you put health first, the weight loss will eventually come. And that's what I liked about what she was saying there, is just accepting who you are, realizing you've got this. And I really feel like if we continue going forward, thinking about, instead of stressing over, oh, I got to do this diet, I got to be perfect. Let's just take a step back, do the things you know that'll make you healthy. So with the exercise, doing things like squats, and then she said also doing things like reaching and grabbing a dumbbell. She said, because as you get older, getting groceries out of a car, you got to have that strength in your arms, in your hands, in your shoulders to get those groceries. So we have to do those things. So I think that's good that it's not like, okay, yeah, you need to go to the gym, work your legs, work your arms. But if you're more of, okay, I'm doing these squats, or I'm building the strength of my arms, not for, oh, because I have to, but it's more of, because this is intentional and I need to do this when I am older. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need to be able to get up off of the toilet. I'm going to need to be able to grab my groceries. I'm going to need to be able to go and get things and have the strength to do that. And the last thing she said was, instead of saying, I want to grow old gracefully, she said, growing old powerfully. I love that. Love it. Let me know if you love it below. Go look her up, JJ Virgin. This woman is 60, y'all. I can't believe it. She looks younger than me. I'm like, let me know. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. So, what I got here, I'm going to break my fast. So, I was fasting. I'm not going to go on about it. But anyways, yeah, so I was fasting. And I've got an avocado here. Yes, I know. That's not B-E. I know. But Heath is doing that because he had or has a little bit of a flare-up. Whereas I'm still focusing on my gut health. And Dr. Mindy Pelz says avocados are great for gut and great for like breaking a fast. So this was just a short fast, but it was longer than 24 hours. So it was like a 36-hour. So I'm still incorporating those like once a week. Again, just focusing on my gut health. So yeah, I got one of these, and I put some Redmond's, a little bit there. I put some Redmond's smoked salt. If y'all haven't gotten the smoked salt yet, follow our link below. That stuff is amazing, especially if you are doing something like B&E, where you're kind of limiting your spices. The Redmond salt, follow that link below. We are affiliates, and it just helps start our channel, so we'd really appreciate that. But yeah, I put Redmond's smoked salt, and then I put some, we also love flat iron seasonings, so I put that on there. And we're thinking of putting out a video of some of our favorite seasonings that we use. So if that sounds interesting, put a hashtag seasonings below, or spices, either one, whatever you want to put, spices or seasoning, and we'll get that video out for y'all. Yeah, and I am still having my coffee. See, I'm still using the same one. And what I've done different yesterday and today is I am adding a tablespoon of the Bulletproof Coffee MCT oil. I'll show you that in a minute when I go back to the kitchen. As you can see, I'm in my office. And no adverse effects from that. I know some people have to like limit their MCT oil, but it's been fine for me. And I do still, because Hyla from Crafty and Carnivorish asked me, and I thought, well, that's a good question, because I don't always show, but yes, on my coffee, I do still top it with cinnamon. So, let me turn the, might be a little too drowning out, right? But anyways, I do still top it with cinnamon. So all I put in my coffee, and this is it, y'all. I should film it. Maybe I will do it tomorrow, because it's my own cup. But I put iodine on it. Iodine. I put 5 drops. I have found over the years that works the best for me. Then I put the tablespoon. Well, first what I do, I add the MCT oil, a tablespoon. I blend that up really well. I put it in my Vitamix, blends like perfect, where it's like kind of this milky, or I guess creamy kind of color, so it's not like the dark, and that's it. That's all I put in it. No sweeteners, nothing else. Generally, I don't care for sweet coffees, except once in a while when I have a treat. So, like when I would go to Dutch Bros, yeah, I would get theirs. But I look at that as not so much as coffee as that was like my treat for the week. But with BB&E, even though I'm not like 100% on it, y'all know that. I'm mostly focused on gut, but I have not been doing that this month. And so I haven't had any sweeteners this month. So I've done that before where I went without any sweeteners for a few months. No issues there. But hey, I mean, I'm good with that. Everything's going well. I don't have to have that. It's just, again, a treat. But, you know, I feel like, well, if he can't get his rainbow, then I'm not going to have him get mine. That's just kind of rude. So, yeah, not having that, and I'm not missing it. So, my coffee, on the other hand, my daily coffee, again, just coffee, that Kamado Island, and then 1 tablespoon of the MCT oil. Blend that well. I pour it in my cup, and it has like a little bit of foam on top. And then I put my 5 drops of iodine, and then I just dust it with cinnamon. And that's it. That's all I do. That's my coffee. To me, the cinnamon adds just a hint of sweetness. And then, plus, I love the flavor of cinnamon. I know not everybody's a huge cinnamon fan. And then once it gets cooler here, so I guess next January, no. But basically in September, I will make my pumpkin spice seasoning again. It's real easy to make. I'll probably film that real quick on one of these. It's so simple to make your own pumpkin spice. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, you have all the ingredients in your cabinet right now. You can make it if that's what you like. So I'll make another batch. I made one last year, used it all up. I'll make another batch because it is cinnamon heavy. And I'll then start using that on my coffee every day. And just kind of changes it up, and I just love it. And I think cinnamon is good for you too. Of course, the amount I'm getting probably doesn't make a huge difference, you know, like that's not even 1/4 of a teaspoon, like it's just a sprinkle. But anyhow, I enjoy it. That's my coffee, and I'm about to go make me some bacon. I'm so excited to have some bacon today. And I'll have that cooked up. And then Heath went to the store early this morning. He said it was better going like kind of early in the morning where it wasn't like 500 degrees outside. It was only like 88. So that's good. But he got me some sauerkraut. So I'm going to have some sauerkraut today with my bacon. And I'll show you all that here in just a minute. For my lunch today, I've got the bacon. So it's 5 total slices, but I always cut them in half. Does anybody else do that? And then there's the sauerkraut. I've got my pickled ginger, some kimchi, and there's a little bit of butter mayo left. Somebody just scarfed that down. So then I don't have time to make my own mayo at lunch. So I'm using the Chosen Foods mayo. It's my first time trying them. I'm partial to the Primal Kitchen, but I'll give it a try and let you know. And then this is what I was telling you earlier that I put on my avocado, the Redmond's Real Salt, the Smoked Chef's Blend. It's really good. My favorite, I think, is still the cherry wood. But, y'all, go follow our link. You have to get these smoked salts. They're so good. And they do sell the refillable bags, which we get those as well. And just refill these little containers. Thursday night dinner. So we've got this sexy ribeye here. And I've got a couple of pats of butter. It was bone in. After it rested, I did cut the bone off. That'll go to the dogs. I've got a couple of scrambled eggs with that butter mayo on it. And then I've got my ginger, my sauerkraut, my kimchi. And then I am drinking my 1877 mineral water. And that's Thursday's dinner. Okay, as promised, I'm showing you how I make my coffee. I would say morning, but it's mid-morning, I guess. Anyways, so still using this Kamado Island coffee roasters, the Mexico dark roast. And he actually does it in the Chemex for me. And he does it when he wakes up in the morning, so it's usually cold by the time I'm going to actually have it, which, as I see here, it's 10:30. So I have been up for 3 hours. So what I do, excuse the mess, I have my Vitamix. Turn this on. I just do this so I can measure properly. So I'm going to put the MCT, 1 tablespoon is 15. And this is the one I got. I got it, y'all, because I got it on sale at Sprouts. Otherwise, I think it's like way too expensive, but I don't know. There's the ingredients. Let me know, what is your favorite one that you think has the best MCT oil? Because, you know, he, of course, claims his is the absolute best. And you know what? I might have done 2 tablespoons yesterday. Let's just measure this. And so it said 14. Sometimes my scale wants to. That's good enough. Sometimes my scale just doesn't want to work with me, right? Come on, work with me, scale. Ooh, look at the just natural lotion, y'all. Just put that on me. So then I'm going to take my coffee, or my Vitamix, and my coffee. Come over here. This is so entertaining. So, there it is. Here's that coffee. Look how nice and dark it is, y'all. I mean, that is gorgeous. Pouring that in my 16 ounces. I make sure I get every last drop, so I do the shake. I do the same thing when I get gas. I'm always like shaking out the... Anybody else do that? And then, of course, I got to lift the last drop. You can't let any go to waste. Make sure the lid is really secure because like that MCT oil really does get hot. And then I just turn it almost to medium high and see how it turns the color with just that tablespoon of MCT oil. And it looks like there's full on creamer in there. So walk with me here while I come over here and look for, there, I was looking for my coffee mug for the week. But yeah, we got to clean all this up because we're going live tonight, y'all. But that's how our house looks otherwise. You can see it's not an Instagram house. But loving the color on this. And again, that's it. That's why I don't add like heavy cream. I mean, every once in a while I get the craving for heavy cream, but I generally just add the fat, just pure fat. And it gives it, I mean, look at this, y'all. That's it. You saw all I added, that 1 tablespoon. Beautiful color, like you have cream in there. Nice foam on the top. This is perfect to me. So that's why I never add tons of stuff to my coffee. And plus, my default is unsweetened coffee. Again, I know that if I get a Dutch or something, then yeah, I get it sweetened. But generally, except if I get a nitro, I don't like my nitro sweet. But generally, that's how I have my coffee. So again, I treat a sweetened coffee as an actual treat. Whereas this is my day-to-day coffee. All right. And then you see here, probably saw it, we got electrolytes over here, so Heath adds it all day. And then this is what I do. I add in 5 drops of this. This is the brand. This is the one I get it off of Amazon, and you get 2. So I add 5 drops of that. And then with it, because these are fat soluble, I take my D3. I take 2 of these, so it's 10,000 a day. And I take 1 of these with it. So that's my mid-morning routine. And yeah, I can't forget my ground cinnamon. So I'll do all that. Can't do that with one hand, do all of that, but I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. there's my completed coffee. So you kind of see the cinnamon. It does sometimes go on the rim, so of course I'm going to lift that up. And then here's what I take there. So there's the D3 and the K2, and we're all good. Then that'll get me through until lunch. Heads up, this is obviously going to be a long one this week, but I just wanted to say I'm so happy. I love y'all, and I'm just having a really good day and week, feeling great. And I just want to say that I am looking forward to tonight's Friday night feast, and I've got some new ideas coming up, and I'm going to create a whole new series, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're new here, hit the thumbs up, and then make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I mean, just y'all, the things I'm coming up with, like I keep a little list, but I'm coming up with a lot of stuff, and I'm just super, super excited to get started on that and get those going and see how that goes as a whole series. And then I did do my nails today. Look at that. I never like paint my nails lately, but I decided to paint them today. So I chose this pretty blue color. See you out alive. I'll make this quick since I know it's a long video this week, but finishing up the last of this kefir. Actually, what I had to do, oh, I don't, sorry. Is that tape? Oh, I guess it's tape from whenever. Oh, that's funny. But anyhow, actually there's like maybe a teaspoon left. But what I did was add some of my Kelowna in here, plus a teaspoon of turmeric. And I've just been shaking it up. So I'm going to finish that. And then I've got an avocado here. And I made kind of a dressing for it. So it's got avocado oil. I mean, let's just stay on theme, right? A little bit of apple cider vinegar. I do love that. Some turmeric, some garlic, and of course, Redmond's real salt. I just thought that would be really good to kind of, another way to get some prebiotics in there. And also a little bit of probiotics with the apple cider vinegar. And have that with the avocado, y'all. Just kind of as a little serving. But that's what I'm starting with today. All right, got my lunch here. Got the bacon. I think it's 6 slices of bacon. Some of that butter mayo. There's my pickled ginger. And then over here, I've got sauerkraut and some kimchi. And yeah, that'll do it. I did sprinkle some turmeric also on my mayo. I just went to Farmer's Market and I went to Sprouts. I should call this like a vegetarian's dream, other than we've got some bacon here. But let me show you what I got real quick. So I went to Sprouts and after the Farmer's Market. I wanted to go to Farmer's Market, see what all I could get, and then get the rest that I wanted at Sprouts. So I got these baby bellas, fresh dill, fresh rosemary, 1 red onion. I mean red. This is white. Y'all could see. I'm colorblind. No, it's white. A couple avocados, radicchio. So I'm going to make myself like a radicchio salad with an avocado today. Tons of garlic. 1 big cauliflower head. The tomatoes. And y'all are like, wait, I thought you were BBB&E. We are. I'm eating some of this today. Heath is not eating any of this. It's going to be in my upcoming videos, so you'll get to see what it is I do with all of it. And then I've got 3 pounds of Sprouts' thick cut bacon. Love it. And then on the Farmer's Market, I got feta cheese. That Goat Farm Dapper Goat. They make goat feta, y'all. And so I'm super excited. And I know Heath is like, oh my gosh. But I double checked. They said this is good for 8 weeks in the refrigerator. So that's perfect. Heath only has about 8 days left. So we'll put this in the fridge. And then, like, I'm not going to have any of it right now either. And then come, that's probably what he's going to be. The first thing he tries is this feta. We're really excited to try this. Because we've never got to try their feta before. Because it's always been sold out. Super excited. I got there first thing before technically it opened, but they were open. And so I made sure I got that. Then I got, y'all that love our Texas 5 Spice, look at this. I might make a special version. It is chocolate habaneros. Don't those look, I mean, look at that chocolate. So these are about double the spice intensity of a regular habanero, these chocolate ones. I am drooling. And I'll also use it in some of the recipes I'm creating. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get that. And then this other booth, it's called Hive Mind. So he is like awesome, and he makes tons of pickling stuff, fermented stuff, jams, all that. And he has like a small farm, and he'll bring like different things. And so I saw he had kimchi, and I'm like, well, I got to try his kimchi, right? Because like Dr. Mindy Pelz says, it's important when you're doing any fermented foods, don't buy the same brands over and over. You got to try different ones, different bacterias. So I'm like, well, shoot, I'm going to try his kimchi. So I got that. I was like excited. Look at this huge cabbage I got. Farm fresh cabbage. And then I've got some fresh, this is, I think it's the lime. Yeah, lime basil. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It smells so good. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And then I got fresh thyme. So, you know, I'm loving all these fresh herbs. And then I went to, there was 3 different like farmers there, veggie farmers. So I look at these zucchinis. Oh, I said cucumber, but zucchinis. Look at these freaking huge zucchinis. I got those. They're gorgeous. A bell pepper. A couple red bell peppers. And then these are just different like sweet peppers. And then our jalapeno guy was there. He said next week he's going to have his really hot hatch peppers. So we might be going back for that. But all he had left today was this right here. These jalapenos and these Thai chilies. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is perfect. I'm so excited to have Thai chilies. Like, that's going to play so well in my recipes. So I grabbed the last bowl that he had and got all of those and some of these jalapenos. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. So that's going to be awesome as well. And just, I'm super excited. I can't wait to get started. And wow, look, this is a really long one. Rhonda, you are very welcome. I forgot the most important thing I got today. Duck eggs. Look at these gorgeous duck eggs. So excited. Saturday dinner, y'all. We have been busy literally all day long. It is 7 p.m. I'm finally sitting down to eat. I did have a nitro earlier. I didn't record. Sorry, y'all. My bad. But for dinner tonight, wow, it's a huge plate. So I found radicchio. That's the purple under here, the purple and white. I found it at Sprouts. And I was like, well, since I found it, I'm going to go ahead and get it. Because that's one of the things that Mindy Pelz says is great for women to have. And it's a bitter vegetable. So I'm excited to try it. I've had it before, but it's been a while. So I kind of made a bed of radicchio. And then on top, I've got some avocado. I've got bacon. My sauerkraut. And then a little bit of tomato. From a recipe, I had an extra tomato, so I'm just eating it. And then I've got the kimchi. This is from the farmer's market today. And then I made this kind of like a salad dressing. I've already drizzled about half of it on my salad, but it's basically avocado oil, apple cider vinegar, some turmeric, garlic, and salt. All mixed together, and yeah, that's what I'm going to have as my dressing. And then, of course, I've got a burger in the middle. So, super excited. Big meal, but it's my only meal of the day. Y'all, it is Sunday, and it's almost 1. So, I have waited. I've been up for almost 3 hours, and I've got my coffee. I'm just now making it. About to add my iodine and my cinnamon. And then I'm going to have this avocado to break my fast. And then we're on our way to go to a friend's house for dinner, and I can't wait to see all of the wonderful food she made us. Can you believe the week is almost over? Well, I mean, another week. Does that look a little better? I don't know. My hair's a mess today. So, almost over. This towards the end of the Warden report. But I know this week was extra long. Sorry for those that don't like the extra long ones, but it is what it is. Anyhow, let me know below. Are you mad about it or happy about it? So it's Tuesday. I'm going to have my kefir, and then this is the Kelowna brand, and then I add a little bit of turmeric, a teaspoon of turmeric too, and it's a half cup serving. So I'm going to drink that, and I don't have any avocado today. Boo-hoo. So instead, I'll have my lunch here in a little bit. I think I'm just going to have some bacon and different fermented vegetables, so we'll see what that looks like. For my lunch today, I've got 6 slices of bacon, some more of that butter mayo, and then I've got my pickled ginger, kimchi, and there's some sauerkraut there. And then I have a duck egg, y'all. So I just fried a little duck egg up, a little too big for a little plate here, but yeah, that's what I'm having. My plate was so full, I forgot about my radicchio, so I'm going to have that and just kind of wrap it around a slice of bacon with some of that mayo and a little bit of duck egg and maybe some of the sauerkraut. Dinner tonight, I've got leftover beef short ribs from the wonderful Mama Bear Lynette. Thank you again. Can't believe she let us even have the leftovers, y'all. And then I've got my butter mayo, sauerkraut, some kimchi, and then I have a salad. I know y'all are like, what? But it's that radicchio, that's the red here. And then I had a couple of farm fresh mini peppers and jalapenos that I also sliced up in here. And then I've got 2 slices of bacon diced up. And then I made, y'all, a bacon grease vinaigrette. So basically the hot bacon grease from the bacon, mixed it with some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of mustard, of course, Redmond's real salt, and then I blended that really well, poured it, and some turmeric, drizzled that all on top. That'll also help with the bitterness of the radicchio. And then I had some fresh herbs that I also got from the market. So I got some thyme and some rosemary. Just like really kicked up salad there. So I'm super excited. And then if I have room, I want to have at least a half serving of the Fage yogurt. Thank y'all so much for watching. It's been a great week. I can't wait to read all of your wonderful comments. You made it to here. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll see you next week. And please stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. Thank y'all so much again for your continued support. Bye.